Hey Gary. Okay. I do much better on my feet instead of sitting in that chair talking to a freaking camera, because I'm usually standing and talking to people. And so I'm going to stand. So you might hear my studio is up in my attic, and I have a squeaky floor, so you might hear a squeaky floor. Anyway, you touched on some pretty general things, and I think I'm trying to get you to go deeper. And that deepness comes from what I preach all the time, which is the separation between us and the animals. Yes, we're part of the natural order of things on the planet. I've been thinking about this for 25 years, and I don't think that we can simply say that we're part of the natural order. We have a brain that's more evolved than any other animal on the planet, and thus that's where we get our ability to make our decisions, our moral judgments, and I think moral judgments are an important thing here. But the underlying factor of all of it, which we haven't touched on, is creativity. And I profess all the time, and this comes from many times of thinking about it, many thought processes have gone through it, going through school thinking about it, teaching, going through it, and that is our creativity. Our creativity separates us. And I don't like that term. I don't like the term separate. It sets us apart. It makes us unique. And it gives us a uniqueness on this planet that no other species has, this uniqueness that we have. And it is our creativity. And if you think of it in that light, that what is that one thing that gives our consciousness the ability to make choices? What is that thing that gives our consciousness the ability to even assume that it has free will? Because I don't see in my observation of this planet for as long as I've been on it, which is 49 years, I don't see the other beings on this planet making those types of conscious choices that we do. So what's the difference? So where lies our uniqueness? And our uniqueness lies in our creative ability. Our ability to make construct of physical things, but not only that, we make construct of mental things as well. You know, just the thought process of philosophy, and you mentioned that we don't know if a dog believes that he's the highest order or they are the highest order of sentient beings. Well, there are some things that point to a dog not feeling that way. One thing is they obey us. And they obey us through a learning process that's very much based in the instinctual world. They have 5 things that they look for: food, water, shelter, security, and that thing that we're very attuned to, and that's reproduction. And outside of that realm, they really don't look for anything else. You know, we're trying to go to the stars. We've left this planet, gone to the moon. Now, I've said before, would a mouse, given the opportunity, go to the moon if they had the ability to construct the means to do it? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think they would stay right here on this planet and live within the natural order of instinct. And there's where I guess we're starting to part paths, I guess. Because I understand your belief. I really do. And I know that perhaps it's difficult to think that I do. But I understand what you're saying. I mean, I've dallied with the concept of religion, the concept of society, the concept of our psychology, and it all brings me back to one place. And the only way that we can manifest these things within ourselves is with that one little thing that we have that separates us from everything else, and that's our creativity. I know they've put paint in monkeys' hands, they've put paint or a paintbrush in the trunk of an elephant, and they paint. But they don't paint with consciousness. They don't paint with intent. We have intent. And we've taken that to the point of abstraction, that we can look at something from outside ourselves. And I just don't see any other species on this planet, unless it's some hidden talent of plants or bacteria, or those things that we cannot observe a creative process happening. I think, you know, I've observed some insects that seem to have almost this physical ability to be creative. But I look for them going outside the realm of those 5 basic needs to survive. And we do that. War is a big example. You know, money is a big example. Just the creation of money. And then all of the things that are attached to that. You know, there's a lot of things about humanity that's very different than the animal world, that is almost anti-natural order. You know, us having a philosophical discussion is basically anti-natural order. We shouldn't be doing this. We should be out there hunting our berries, killing the animals for our food, bludgeoning each other over women so we can go fuck them. I mean, those are the things that are in the natural order. We're outside that realm. And I know this is about free will, but I think free will is part of it. You know, it's the free will of creativity. It's the free will of making a choice. And that choice comes from me going, do I want to do that, or do I want to do this? If I make this choice, yes, this will happen. If I make this choice, I might not get this. But all of that comes from our ability to look at the world in an abstract way. And I don't know if that makes any sense. I really don't. I try to get that point through to people a little younger than you, called high school students, and a lot of times they're not on that level. I see you differently. You've had a lot, or you've had some time, not a lot of time, in my perspective, you've had time to think about this. Obviously, you've spent a lot of time thinking about this. I don't know what your influences are. You don't know what my influences are. But the bottom line is that we have something that they don't. And I think what we need to look at is, what is that thing that we have that they don't? Where it came from, I don't know. You know, I've read a book by a man named Zecharia Sitchin that says it came from beings that came down from another planet, seeded this planet with bioengineering, voila, human beings. You know, how far do you want to take it? How far do you want to go as far as where it came from? You know, I'm with you on the God thing, okay? I think God was created by this creative being. How we became creative beings, I have not a clue. But I think to really get down to seeing who we are, what we are, we have to make a distinction between ourselves and the rest of the natural world. And that distinction in my mind is creativity. But anyway, still a great discussion. Hope to hear back from you. Take care.